Whitwer. Pitches out to Prevention. He's going to go wide to the left. Around the corner. Touchdown, Eisenhower.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review. Coach Chris Smith, congratulations on a second consecutive undefeated season and a third consecutive MAC Red Championship. No questions about it. How does that make you feel as a coach yourself?
Well, I'm just proud of everybody that's been involved in it. I mean, the coaching staff, the players the last few years. It's a culmination of a lot of things that have happened in these last 3 years, and I couldn't be more proud of everybody in the program.
And tonight, 38-20, Ford really was never a threat, but they just kind of wouldn't go away tonight. But you got a chance to play a lot of guys.
Yeah, played a ton of guys, which is what we wanted to do tonight. I try to keep everybody healthy, before the start of the playoffs. So, yeah, and Ford played a great game. It's the last game of the year for them, and for the seniors on their team, it was maybe the last game of their career. So we knew they were going to come out and play hard, but we did what we had to do, and to take care of the business.
It got a little sloppy, a little bit of penalties on Eisenhower. A couple of them looked like to me were kind of like phantom calls. The officials explain those calls to you and the holdings?
No, they just gave me numbers. That's sometimes those things happen. That's probably the most penalties we've had in a game in 3 or 4 years, I would say. So, I have to go back and watch the film. I didn't see everything. The officials tell me what they saw and give me the number, and that's all I get.
How about you had a couple players kind of left, put some ice on the legs and the ankles. Is everybody pretty healthy going into the next game?
I think that's a typical this time of year. End of the season, having guys that have little things going on that you need to take care of, and which is why it was important to get a lot of guys into play today. But yeah, they're going to be fine, and it's just what you do this time of year.
A little bit about getting guys like Drake Minnie back, and I believe Petkoff is back right tonight. What does that mean for your team?
Yeah, they're both great players. So, but again, when we lose players, when something happens, we got other players that can step in and play those positions. But it's always good to have a guy like Minnie back in. He's a senior, he's a 2-year starter, and he knows what it takes, once you get to the playoffs to win at that level.
And Jack Morris, who's filling in for Max Whitwer, looked like he was very uncomfortable with a couple passes, and all of a sudden he hits Ben Metz for a touchdown.
Well, he hit a couple guys in the hands, and we dropped some balls. I thought he threw the ball well, but you got to catch the ball. The guy's got to catch the ball. But yeah, he's done a great job in our offense these last few weeks.
Any idea who you might be looking at in the playoffs?
No, I don't pay attention to it. I'm looking at our team, watching the film on our team, and nobody can control what happens now with their selection show. So whoever we get, we'll prepare for them and be ready to play.
Okay, Coach, congratulations and best of luck in the playoffs next week. And let's go all the way.
All right, thank you.
Drake Minnie back in action again this week for the Eisenhower Eagles. Kind of a funky game, 38-20 against Ford. But what did it feel like to get back in action?
It felt good. Sitting out for a couple weeks really just get me going for this game, and I'm excited to enter into playoffs.
Did you find yourself a step slower getting on the field after missing some action?
I don't think so. I think I could have been back last week, but they really wanted to save me. So I feel like with that extra rest, I felt like I was just right back into it.
It seemed like you guys couldn't really shake Henry Ford the second here. They kept just kind of being irritatingly in there.
Yeah, we held them good in the first half, but I think in the second half we started to lose focus a little bit, but I still think it's a good step into playoffs.
What did Coach say to you about the second consecutive undefeated season?
He was just very excited. We're all very excited to be undefeated twice, so it's a big deal.
Any idea who you think you might play in the playoffs?
It's either going to be Troy or Utica, and we don't matter which one. We're going to come out and just smack them.
Well, we'll find out on Sunday night, won't we?
Yes, we will.
I guess you want to say hello to some folks.
I'd like to say hi to my mom, my dad, the LB crew, and all the people who helped me get better. Dr. Popowski and Coach Crum. Thank you.
with Massimo D tonight, and Massimo, you're responsible for 8 of the Eisenhower points all by yourself with the extra point kicks and the field goal, but you played a pretty strong game on defense as well. First off, talk about the field goal and the extra points. Usually it's Assad Buhaidar kicking those.
Well, Assad, his ankle was hurt, so Coach told me to kick the field goals, and I've been working on them all year, so it was just easy. Me and Ben Metz connect good, and Mikey K always has good snaps.
How about your field goal? What were you thinking while you're out there getting ready to kick that?
I mean, it's just another field goal. We practice it all the time. I was kicking them in the warm-ups, and I felt really good, so I was confident going up there.
Talk a little bit about their side. They kept kind of hanging in against you guys. What do you think that was caused by?
I mean, they just kept hitting us with a bunch of short passes, and they kept getting like 4 or 5 yards every play, and it was difficult for us to get inside, but I think we held them off pretty good, especially in the first half.
You get some guys back. Guys started to come back. Drake Minnie came back. You got some offensive linemen back, I think. And how's the team feel going into the playoffs?
Oh, we're really confident. We're going to take this one team at a time. Can't wait to play whoever we're playing in the playoffs. We're going to play them just like we would any team.
How does it feel to be undefeated 2 years in a row?
Oh, it's amazing. It feels great. I can't wait to get in the playoffs, and it's awesome.
How about on defense? You're seeing a lot more action out there as Jack Morris is taking over at quarterback. Are you starting to feel comfortable out there?
Oh, yeah, for sure. They started playing me more like, I think, against Romeo, and ever since then I've just been feeling more confident with the routine, the players, the play calls, everything.
When you're out there alone at quarterback spot, I mean, you had a good player to play against, number 21 Thompson tonight. What was he like to go up against?
I mean, he was fast, but I think I held him off pretty good, at least in the second half. First half I struggled a little bit. I think I did okay on him. He was pretty good.
I know you want to say hello to some folks. I'll let you go ahead and do that.
All right, I want to say thanks to my family, my mom, my dad, my coaches, all my friends, and the DB crew.
Eisenhower's senior and star defensive end, Henry Janeway. And Henry, you finished the regular season 9-0. You've had a great career so far at Eisenhower. Just your thoughts that are going through your mind as you finish this last regular season game.
Breezy mentioned a stat last week, and we will be the first team to go back-to-back MAC-Red champs undefeated since like 92 or 93, and I just thought like that's a special thing. I'm a part of history, and it means a lot to me, and it means a lot to the program to go back-to-back. And also I'm just thinking about just getting through the week of practice and taking week by week.
Well, Breezy would know that because Breezy played on those teams, and the 93 team, we actually was the first year at ShelbyTV broadcast games, and Chris Layson also played on those teams, so that tells you how old those guys are.
Yeah, you learn something new every day.
How about going into the playoffs? This wasn't the exact perfect game that you guys wanted to have out there, but what do you got to do this week in practice to get ready for the playoffs?
We just got to mentally prepare ourselves. I mean, there's a lot of distractions that come along with it, just like the hype around there on Twitter, like people are like, oh, who's playing who or what's going on with your team. We just got to get through it, and we just got to mental practice hard. We don't have to physically go hard, but just up here we want to get it in our heads and get our job done. So when we get on the field, it's just like this. We can get our jobs done and win. How
is it with Jack Morris at quarterback now? And that's a bit of an adjustment for him and for the team. It seems to be getting better every week.
Oh, it's so fun to watch this kid play. You think he's about to get tackled, and then he puts out some crazy juke, and now he's running down the sidelines. It's a lot of fun to watch this offense, and that just shows that if we're a true team, we can plug in anyone and we can have success.
Tonight on defense, so let's go switch to defense now. Henry Ford traditionally has a quick team and some good skill players. How do you think that'll help you in the playoffs?
I really can't say it'll help us in the playoffs. I think we're just a quick team in general, and I think we play fundamentals, and that's how we beat teams. That's how our defense works. So we play our fundamentals, we do our job, we're going to walk away with the dub.
Okay, well, I know you want to say hello to everybody, so I'll let you do that now.
I just want to thank my mom, my dad, my grandma, my girlfriend, and the whole football team. Thank you guys for being a part of a great season so far.
Stay tuned for game highlights after this.
Yeah! All right, this is Adam. Take 2. Mark?
I guess.
I go like this.
The best part about playing football in Texas has to be the reaction from the community.
I want to encourage others to play volleyball or choir because you get to experience new things and do stuff that you've never done before. My reason why is passion.
My reason why is pride.
Sports give so many opportunities to kids. It gives them an opportunity to see where they fit within a team, persevere, understanding how to work with different personalities. Those are the lessons that will make you a successful adult. As a mom, you have to have an understanding of what concussions are.
Concussions are things that are treatable. If we take care of athletes, they will be able to develop and have a long, happy, healthy life.
The undefeated Eisenhower Eagles traveled to Henry Ford II to take on the Falcons. The Eagles were trying to become the 9th team in Eisenhower football history to have an undefeated regular season. The Falcons got the ball first, and the Eagle defense was ready. Jack Morris breaks up this pass with perfect coverage. Then the Eagle defensive line stuffed the Ford running back. When the Eagles got the ball, Jack Morris ran through their defense like a hot knife through butter. He gets 22 yards on this run. Then Morris runs it in for the touchdown, and the Eagles draw first blood, 7-0 Eisenhower. Henry Ford II's next drive was not much different than their first. Number 42, Carlo LaCirco, makes this tackle, forcing the Falcons to punt again. Eisenhower's Ian Kennelly gets a first down on this 16-yard run. This Jack Morris pass to Assad Buhaidar goes for 6. The extra point was good, and Ike led 14-0. After the Falcons got a couple of first downs, Drake Minnie makes this play on 3rd down, forcing a Falcon punt. On 3rd and 9, Jack Morris has a nice run of 10 yards to get a first down. Ben Metz catches this pass and is roughed up by the Falcons defense. Ford is penalized, and it's a big first down for Eisenhower. The Eagles got down to the Ford 13. However, Jack Morris is picked off by the Falcons' Hayden Kelly. The first quarter would end on this nice tackle by the persistent J. Javante Reed. Drake Minnie would make the tackle, forcing the Falcons to punt. Assad Buhaidar would take the football down to the 5-yard line with this run. From there, Jack Morris would take it in from the 5 for his second touchdown of the night, and it's Ike 21, Ford nothing. Ford's running back, Kyle DeFilippi, tries the middle of the Eisenhower defense. He's stopped cold for a 1-yard loss. However, the Falcons would hit this big play as Jaquan Clark takes this Noah Hyde pass to the Eagle 1. With it 1st and goal from the Eagle 1, the Eisenhower defense stiffened. The goal line stand is completed with this sack on 4th down by Henry Janeway. Ike got out of the hole with this 17-yard run by Assad Buhaidar. On 2nd and 7 from the 36, Caleb Oyster rips off 24 yards. Again, it's 2nd and 7 from the Falcon 37, and it's Ian Kennelly for 16 yards and another Eagle first down. Caleb Oyster, who had finished the regular season with over 900 yards rushing, almost gets a touchdown on this run. The Eagles were unable to punch it in, so they settled for this 24-yard field goal by number 84, Massimo D. With a little over a minute to play in the first half and Ford driving, this Noah Hyde pass is picked off by Eisenhower's John Fantauzo. With it 3rd and 15 at the 44, Jack Morris gets 25 yards and a first down with 41 seconds left to play in the first half. With 16 seconds left to play in the first half, Jack Morris would hit Ben Metz. With this strike, Metz jets into the end zone for an Eagle score, and it's 32-0 Eisenhower. On the ensuing kickoff, number 15, Jaquan Clark almost breaks this one. Only this touchdown-saving tackle by Massimo D. saves Eisenhower. The first half would end on this sack by Ike's Carlo Lachirco. The score at halftime, Eisenhower 32, Henry Ford II 0. To begin the second half, Ike had the ball first, but not for long, as this tip pass is picked off by the Ford Falcons' number 52, Nathan George. On first down for the Falcons, Ike's Ben Metz does a great job breaking up this pass. On 4th and 1 from the Eagle 3, Alejandro Steinwasser comes on and kicks this 20-yard field goal, and the Falcons are on the board. It's Eisenhower 32, Henry Ford II 3. The Falcons would stop Eisenhower's next drive and get the ball back. But number 5, Kyle D. Filippi, is stuffed for a 5-yard loss on this play. The Eagles get great coverage by Massimo D. on this play. Eisenhower takes over on downs, and this magnificent run by Jack Morris is called back because of a holding penalty. On 3rd and 12 from the Ford 27, this Morris pass is picked off by Hayden Kelly, and it's 1st and 10 Falcons from the Eagle 20. On 2nd and 10 from the 20, Drake Minnie smokes the Ford quarterback, causing this incomplete pass. On 3rd and 10, Ryan Belts and Henry Janeway are responsible for this 2-yard loss for the Falcons. Alejandro Steinwasser would come on and kick a 38-yard field goal, making it 32-6 Eisenhower. This kickoff return by John Fantauzo is called back because of a block in the back. Caleb Oyster would break this one. It's good for 68 yards and an Eagle touchdown. The extra point by Massimo D. was good, and Ike now led 38-6. How about some excellent kickoff coverage by Eason McDaisy and Lance Humper? In the fourth quarter, the Falcons would pick up a first down on this 4th and 8 pass to Jalen Thompson. Then quarterback Noah Hyde would hit his big tight end Luke Hyde for the Falcon touchdown. The score was now 38-13 Eisenhower. Despite this stellar kickoff return by Asad Buhaidar, Ike could not sustain its next drive. The Falcons would score again as this pass to Jalen Thompson is fumbled. It's scooped up by Jaquan Clark, and he takes it the rest of the way to the end zone. Score now 38-20 Eisenhower. Ike's offense desperately needed first downs, and they got one here by Massimo D. Then number 27, Sebastian Puda, gets 9 yards and another Eagle first down. Antonio Gray puts the finishing touches on this one as he rambles 9 yards for a first down. The Eisenhower Eagles beat the Henry Ford II Falcons 38-20 to complete the 9th undefeated regular season in Eagle history. They are only the 3rd team to accomplish back-to-back undefeated seasons in Eagle history. But more importantly, they are the champions of the MAC Red for the 3rd consecutive year in a row. Congratulations, Eagles.
Stay tuned for a special feature right after this.
You're up. There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
So, I got my start in officiating when a friend told me I should try it. At first I just did basketball, and I got hooked. Before long, I added baseball, softball, football, and volleyball. I really enjoy giving back to the game, working with kids, and working with my local association to recruit and train new officials. I would like to say to anybody that officiating is a great way to help kids and stay connected to the game. We always need new officials. There's help wanted, just listen.
This year's Eisenhower Eagles are blessed with a talented running back in Caleb Oyster. Back in the early 90s, the Eagles had one too.
There's just one place where students are students first, and athletics are played with purpose and perspective. That place is your local high school. High school sports offer more than the joy of competition. Studies show that student athletes are also likely to enjoy greater levels of achievement in other areas of their lives, including academics. High school sports, a winning part of a complete education.
Hi, my name is Tom Izzo, the men's basketball coach at MSU. The threat of school violence is something that affects everyone and needs to be taken seriously. OK to Say is a confidential way you can report anything that threatens your safety or the safety of others. If you see or hear something that doesn't seem right, submit a tip to OK to Say. You can call, text, email, go online, or use the OK to Say app. You could be the one person who helps to prevent a tragedy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we hope you enjoyed our show. Congratulations to the Eisenhower Eagles, second consecutive undefeated seasons and third consecutive MAC Red champions. Way to go, fellas. For Coach Chris Smith, I'm Tim Meyer saying we'll see you next time right here on the Eisenhower Eagle Football Review.